Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about XRP in this one. I know in my last video I started it off that way, but we're actually going to talk about XRP in this one, I promise. This one goes out to Eric. Eric, you requested this one, and we're doing this one for you. This is for everybody who watches, but thank you for the request. We're doing it sooner than I would have because of that. I am on the XRP USD on crypto. This does not have any volume on it, but I think that's okay. I don't think we need volume really at the moment with this analysis. This has the all-time data, and there is a gap right here, but whatever. I think it's safe to say that we filled this gap, so that's totally fine. I do want to do something real quick. Oh, come on now. Let me just see. I gotta turn that. There we go. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Okay. So, looking at the charts, guys, before we get off track at all, looking at the charts, the RSI looks strong. The RSI does look strong. It's neutral to a certain degree, sure, but you broke above the 50. This month only has about a week left in it, so I have faith that you will close above the 50. This is the mark of a move that will take us higher ultimately. Sure, maybe next month or the following months we move sideways or we move down. Maybe we don't, whatever. We don't have to skyrocket immediately, but I do think that this is the beginning of getting out of this kind of low zone here. So good things looking on the long-term charts, definitely. Actually, before I dive in, I want to see the most relative tip here from top to bottom. Wow, yeah. Tipped right off the 618, literally tipped it to a T. Maybe we come back down, we're below the 0.5, maybe we come back down to the 60-cent area or lower, to these previous all-time highs, or not all-time highs, previous high areas. Tested as support, as we had support over here. It was an area that we had resistance as well, so we could go down to like 50 to 60 cents, something like that, in the meantime, before moving higher. We don't have to, but let's take a look at the shorter time frames, smaller time frames to kind of get a look at that. On the weekly, we are overbought. We're still overbought. We're actually in a nice position where if we close in 5 days and 5 hours from now, we're in a nice position where we could bounce off of this overbought zone and send us higher. We had that here. If we were to go back and look at this, it's just a little bounce here, but look at, oh no, there we go. If we see this move, that was a 52% bounce in a week. It doesn't look that big, right, retrospectively, compared to like this whole move, this little candle, but that was a 52% bounce. Okay, so and then we went lower, sure. I don't think even if we had a 52% bounce when we went lower, I don't think we would have something like this afterwards. We might have some bullish or bearish divergence. We might go sideways or down for a little bit, but I think looking at this, we are above the 50 on the long-term RSI. We are above the purple line. We might even be finding support on it. This looks like the real deal. I would expect that any move that takes us below the purple line will be very short-lived indeed. So anything that's below, again, below 66 cents, maybe around 50 cents, probably not even that low. We'll probably go around 66 to 55 cents. And anything below that purple line at all will be short-lived. Again, contrary to that, if we hold this area, we could be in a position to bounce off the overbought zone. And again, the last time we did that, we had a very sizable move for a week's time. So just keep that in mind. This is definitely a strong-looking RSI on the weekly. You are in this ascending formation, right, where you've got these highs here, higher high, higher high, higher high. You've got these lows here where you're getting higher low, higher low, higher low. It would not surprise me if we came all the way back down and tested this. We don't have to do it now. We could bounce, get what they call a partial incline, where you are inclining, but you can't get into this, or maybe it's called a partial decline, where you're inclining and it's partially declining. I forget. But ultimately, I would think that we do go back to the bottom of this channel at some point. I think this channel is going to keep us going up for probably through the end of the year, maybe even into next year. When we break out of this channel, it might not be the end of all things. It just might be time to move sideways for a bit. We could, in fact, break out of it on the next attempt down, but I don't think we will. I would say that this channel in the RSI is probably something to be used again for basically the rest of the year, if not longer, honestly, for XRP. So I would base my buys off of that. Anytime that we're down here in this area, and this line isn't even I would say like totally tight. It might be like more something like this. Anytime the RSI is in this area, price be damned, wherever it is, look at the RSI, see if it follows this kind of trend, and if it does, and you're at the lower ends of this trend, it'll likely be a good time to buy. This is not financial advice, it's just my opinion. But I do think you're in a solid uptrend of the RSI. It looks very strong. And with that, I don't think you're going below this 50 anytime soon. So you're likely going to be in the stronger readings, which means that you're going to be promoting stronger prices to the upside. The long-term RSI and the way the purple line is right now, it looks very nice. You look to respect it on a weekly. You definitely have respect on the weekly 123. You know, a little disrespect here, whatever. But ultimately, I do like this. I think it looks good. And that's on the weekly. So in the coming days, in the coming weeks even, we could go down. And the weekly is a more long-term time frame anyways. Looking at the daily, you know, we are, I think I called this top pretty well. I didn't call the move up. I just called this top pretty well. I said that we'd go down to around 66 cents. I remember is what I said, and we actually went to 67 cents, so I was off just a little bit there. And then on this day when we were up, actually, I made another video saying I think that we're probably going to go down from here as well. And again, likely to like 66 to 55 cents, the same kind of range that I'm giving now. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's what I said in my last video, that we'd go down to around 66, maybe 60 cents, something like that. You know, what we have here is bullish divergence, or bearish divergence. I keep getting that confused. You're in the bullish area of control. You're overbought here, but you had a high here, a lower high. You had a high here and a higher high on a closing basis. Yes, the wicks are lower, but this is based off the closing basis, not off the wicks. So you've got higher highs here, lower highs. That is bearish divergence. It would not surprise me if we did, in fact, go lower than this, which is at 67 cents. If we were to go lower, what I would expect, taking a low from a high here, you'd probably find support on these extensions, probably. You didn't really find support on the 618 at all. You kind of just disregarded it. And likely, I mean, you have the chance to hold the 886 as support. You do. I don't think you're going to. I personally don't think you're going to. This looks like it wants to go lower. I would say you want to go lower probably. You could come all the way back down to the purple line, but by the time that happens, this purple line could be up at like 56 cents, 55 cents, you know, so I doubt that it'll go down here. It could, but I doubt it. Looking at the daily, why do I keep doing that? This purple line isn't completely respected, but the area of it is, right? You can see you found support in this area. You found support in this. If you bought below it, good buy, best buy, actually. If you bought below it, best buy. If you know, you see this here, if you sold above it, that was a good time to sell. Sold above it, good time to sell in this range. But you definitely respected it. You've definitely regarded this line. I would say that this is a significant line. So likely, in my opinion, you are going to make a move down somewhere around this area if you go below it at all on the daily. And this is the 123 moving average. If I took this off, right, and I were to go to indicators here, I've got it on my favorites. But if you're on TradingView, you click indicators, go to technicals, and scroll down. It's alphabetical. Go to M, and it will be moving average simple. That's what it's called, moving average simple. And then, you know, this one, it comes out blue by default. At least for me it does. I'm sure it does for everybody. I changed my length to 123. And then style, I like the color purple. You know, that's fine. We can make this one a little, no, red's that color. So maybe, where's the purple color? Where's that nice purple? There we go. It had it saved for me, but yeah, something like that. I'll make it a little thicker even. You can change the thickness for those of you who want to do that. You know, you can change the thickness down here, make it super thick. I like to keep it thin, you know, thinner, or like one of these two. This kind of makes it pop out more, but too thick, it kind of changes it, you know, like I don't know, it blurs some things out. So I like to keep it kind of thin. But yeah, that's how you do that. Anyways, I would expect that based off of this fib here, based off of this little move from the bottom to the top here, right? That's what you can see from this low to this high. That's where that fib's based. I would expect we see extensions, which would be anywhere from 62.7 cents to 54 cents, but likely more around 62.7 to 57.7 cents. So somewhere in that area, probably likely below the 618 even, because if you were to go slightly below that, that's where this previous like topping area is right here. So I do think you go below 57, or what would that be below? Yeah, maybe you go below 57 cents. I doubt that you go too much lower than 55 cents. Maybe you do. Maybe you even go below 50 cents. It's possible. But I'd put my money more on like this kind of area personally. Oh, that was a deep circle. Sorry, like this kind of area. Yeah, something like that. So that's where I think we're going in the immediate term. Looking at the 4-hour. You know, for those of you who might be thinking that this is a flag, might be calling this a flag, On the daily, it kind of looks like it, kind of. But on the 4 hour, this is not a flag. This is, well, if it was over here, this is a flag, and you have broken out of your flag bearishly, okay? And right now, we have actually just on a 4 hour just closed lower than this previous low here. We are testing this previous, look at this, man. We are literally right now testing it as resistance. Literally, support is now resistance. Likely, we are about to see a bigger move to the downside, to the areas that I was just talking about, okay? So looking at the long-term RSI, we are above the 50. Which is nice to see. This long-term RSI probably comes down where we found support before, resistance before, somewhere around 52, maybe even down to around 50 and a half. You were overbought on the long-term RSI. That is not common. That is a rarity in itself. It's very hard to get overbought on the long-term RSI. The long-term RSI that I have is also set to 123. If you want to do that, you set your inputs length 123. I made it red because it pops more against the purple color here. I want it to be visible for me, but it takes a lot, man. Like, this looks like a huge move, but really, right? You like from here to here, that's 64 to 54. That's not that big on a normal RSI, but it is that's a big move on the long-term RSI. So, anyways, the relation to this with the 123 moving average, anytime you're above, well, what I've noticed generally, not always, and you have to, if you're doing this yourself, you have to see if it respects this line. That's a first tell, and see if it respects this kind of idea, beforehand. But here, for example, we're below the purple line. Here on the long-term RSI, we are. Let's see. I guess here we were above the 50. We were above the 50 right here, but I don't know. You were overbought. This would have been a hard one to tell, honestly. This is one of those times where it just didn't really work out in your favor. But generally, you've been below this 50 for this whole time here. So anytime you're above the purple line would have been a good time to sell if you're like trying to day trade or whatever. But that's kind of the idea. That's the relationship that I've noticed with this, and that's why I have it, is anytime you are above the 50 on the long-term RSI but below the purple line, the 123 MA, it's normally a good time to buy. If it's the reverse, if you're below the 50 on the long-term RSI but you are above the purple line, that's a good time to sell, generally. Not always. It's something to take into account, mesh it with other things to help make your decision. But overall, just looking at this right now and looking how the purple line's perched, I would think that anytime we go below this purple line will likely be a good time to buy. Going below it right now would be below 64 cents. So likely you will go lower than that, but still, anytime below that's probably going to be a good time to buy. The 4-hour RSI does show some weakness at the moment. You are playing off of some bullish divergence that you had, but I think you've already made that move. I think that this move here, this bullish divergence, already played out, and right now what you really have is hidden bearish divergence, where you have a high here and a high here. So this is a higher high scenario, where this same high before over here is up here, and now you have a lower high scenario. That is hidden bearish divergence, indicating that you are likely in a downtrend and you likely will go lower. Yeah, that's my overall opinion. So to wrap it up in a nice, neat, pretty little bow, I would think that XRP wants to go from here to about anywhere from like below 63 cents to above 54 cents, somewhere in that range. It could bottom lower than that. It could, but I don't think it will. I think somewhere in this range, and likely more within this range here is where we'll go. And that range is like below 58 cents and above 54 cents still. So a nice tight range for XRP there. I do think that we see that in the coming days, coming weeks. It doesn't have to happen immediately, though. With the 4-hour, with the way it looks, I would, and with the daily also, I kind of would expect that we will see a bigger flush out in the coming days, probably before the end of this week. And just because we see that doesn't mean it's going to be ready to bounce just yet. We bottomed here, and we found we had a nice little flush out here, and then we moved sideways, and we went a little bit lower over the 3 days, but then took another 4 days to go sideways some more, and then we went up from there. Here you had a flush out, but you didn't find your low there. You kind of like meandered, and then you went lower, and then you still meandered, and then you pumped. So I don't think, and it is possible that we go down and then just straight bounce from there. But I would more think that you probably do meander to some degree, and then and then it's on to the races. So maybe we bottom sometime in August, maybe we bottom sometime this month, but it's not going to be go time probably till sometime in August is my genuine expectation. And go time might not even be the same kind of pump. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but we'll see when we get there. Again, I tried to wrap it in a nice, neat little bow, and I kind of got sidetracked. But I would say anywhere from below 64, or is it 65 cents? It's below 63 cents. Anywhere below 63 cents and above 54 cents is what I would say the range is. And if I had to be even more concise with that, I would say below 57 cents and above 54 cents, somewhere in there. That's my expectation for where this thing will find its low. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a very good day. Take care. Bye-bye.